Well, I'm having problems with this camera. Holy cow. We've been doing this for a year. I've been struggling with this software for over a year. This is just unacceptable. Um, Gosh, I'm not very happy with this. The camera is feeding to the computer. The computer is on. The computer is running the programs, multiple, and everything seems to be going through. The audio is working just fine. I see the meters moving, but nothing is coming up on the screen. So I don't know if you're seeing this. I have no idea. The camera says that it's on, and I can see feedback through the camera's software, but the software isn't matching up with the OBS software. So I haven't a clue what's going on with it. So I'm not sure. I'm not getting the video, so it's good and bad. You probably are just seeing the flag because that's what's in the background if I'm not on there with the camera. So, all right. So if you can see me, if you see me, then give me a thumbs up. Otherwise, you have an American flag. Okay, I see the American. Everybody's saying the American flag. Can you hear me? That's the one thing. We can hear you. Great. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm actually looking at this stuff and I am not seeing any of the settings that were here when I set this up. Now, I've been working on this for about 2 hours. The camera works, the computer works, the software works, but it's not matching up. Wow. Wow. It is very aggravating, the whole thing there. All right, well, welcome. I'm just going to make this this is podcast. That's the way to think of it. You have the static screen. Maybe we can switch back to the so you know what this is. And unfortunately, there's no video to put on here. This is the monthly meetings. We've been doing this for over a year, and I apologize. The camera that I'm using, I use for a day camp, and ran without issue. But every single time I load up this software, it's like reinventing the wheel. It is really difficult to use. And now that we are getting momentum in membership, there is some funds, not a whole lot, but there are some funds where I think it's time to invest in actual good software. OBS is free, and that's what I can afford. And I think it's time that we do a little bit of investment into our venture here. And I'm so grateful for all of you. There you go. Oh, so sorry. So sorry about that, guys. All right, I'm going to pay more attention. The thing I don't like about this software is the microscopic print, okay? I have Word, and I can zoom in and out of it, and honestly, I cannot read 2-point letters on the screen. This is tiny. We're talking tiny, and for a blind person, it's really difficult, very difficult to see that. So hopefully, very aggravating. So some of this software and stuff, and I'm so sorry about the music being left on. I didn't see that microscopic little button. Honestly, we're talking, if you could draw a dot on a piece of paper, that's twice the size of the control. That is amazingly small. So I didn't see the little thing pulsating. You know, that's what it looks like. To me, it looks like a little dot that's moving around, and that's it. It is very difficult to run some of these controls. So like I said earlier, I need to make the investment on some software and make sure that this stuff doesn't happen again. I thought I had all the bugs worked out. Really, I thought I had it all set, all perfect. Just hit the button and it goes. No. Murphy's Law just proves that it's going to be difficult every single time, and hopefully this won't be reoccurring. All right, so I'm going to look briefly at your things here. Okay. I see that Scouter Justin just said, congratulations, Henry. Is that Henry? Looks like Henry. There's something going on with that. Okay, welcome, Brotherhood Henry. Oh, okay. You went through the Brotherhood. That's awesome. Welcome, welcome. I apologize again for the camera not working, but it is working. It's actually on. I see a light on it, and I can go to the software, and it tells me it's working just fine. It's just that the broadcasting stuff is messed up. Somewhere it lost its connection, and this software, it was what I could afford, which was free, and that's what we put together. So hopefully we can iron this all out. But oh my goodness, this software is, I know why it's free. You know, there's an adage that really you get what you pay for, and man, oh my gosh. All right, so we have like a chat room going with the podcast here. So, okay. My goodness. I can't make the text bigger. I have tried everything. Now when you are visually impaired, you get to learn there's all kinds of controls. You can hold down the control key and then use the wheel to zoom in and out and stuff like that, so you can make things big. I can't do that with this software. This software has a fixed size, and it's microscopic. And a lot of times I pick up I have a magnifying glass that I have to hold up to see a lot of the lettering. It's really bad, and my vision is extremely poor. So, but anyways, that is some of the hardships we're working on. We're going to get these things figured out. Yagoo. I've been to Yagoo as a scout when I lived in Massachusetts. When our troop went to Yagoo, it's in Rhode Island. It's nice. It's old. It's been there forever. Alrighty. I'm going back through the notes here, guys and gals, trying to see what's going on here. Ugh. All right, I'm going to pull up the microscope here and see what this says. Yes, I saw that magazine Yagoo. That is a good one. Yagoo. I did my conservation merit badge. I believe I was there for that one as a youth. Hey, stand by the way. Wait a minute. Get the microphone. Get the microscope. It says, "Hey Stan, do you have tips on new airmen? How does a scout become a, oh my gosh, a blur?" Do you know? A trainer. I think that's what the word is. It looks like trainer. Anyways, first up, all right, T-Bone. I think that's the logo you got there. You were asking what tips I have for new airmen, and that's get involved. Start working with your chapter. The only time you're going to make a difference is by jumping in and doing something with your chapter. That's what I recommend. If you're a brand new Ordeal member or you're a brand new Brotherhood member, get involved. Do stuff. There's always something to do. There's always something there. Definitely get involved. Go to all of make it a commitment to go to at least half of the events that the OA puts on. At least half, if not all of them. Try that, and you'll find. And this is something I find from the advancement standpoint. My new role in my district is with advancement. I look at that and I ask scouts, you know, are you an Ordeal member, Brotherhood member? and then if they're not wearing a flap, I'll ask them, were you elected? And I hear most of the time from older scouts that that's what kept them involved in scouting. And during that Eagle Board review, that is really important to keep the scout involved in scouting so they could actually achieve Eagle. If they jump out the minute they become first class, it just loses. We lose the potential to get an Eagle Scout, and to keep the older scouts interested, we have to be involved in OA. We need to be involved in NYLT, things like that the youth actually participate in, and even learn more leadership skills. That's the beautiful thing. So if you're new to the Order of the Arrow, get involved. Just jump in. There's something, raise your hand. Those who elected you need you. So don't disappear. Don't be a flapper. Don't be one that just runs away at the first opportunity. Run towards it. Run towards that opportunity, that goal. So that would be my recommendation. I know I go on and on about it. Let's see. I see that Henry JD, Stan, what camp do you stay? Did you say? Oh my gosh. Sandy Beach. I'm not really sure, Henry. Henry JT, I am not really sure about the camp question. Doesn't, man, I can barely see that one. Do you think it is possible? Alrighty. Question is Eagle 4 years. Yes. Do you think it's possible to get the Eagle Scout in 3 to 4 years? Yes. Yes. There is a YouTube channel, believe, and I followed it. It was great. It was just audio, a lot like what we're experiencing tonight, no video. But it was 2 years to Eagle. So it is possible. 3 to 4 years is about the right amount of time to think about it. You do have to go through all the ranks, and once you get to life, you can start working on your Eagle project. Technically, the day you become a life scout, life rank, you could start working on your project. Of course, you have to go through the workbook process and get all the approvals and stuff, and that takes a while. The average, and this is something I just recently found out, but the average in my community is 222 days between getting the final approvals on a project and starting the project and actually getting your application verified by council. There's about a 222-day average period of time. So it takes a while to do a lot of the different projects. The more complex your project, the longer it's going to take. So just have that in mind. And then there's a lot of merit badges. We have a video about merit badge, one of the Eagle Scout Slayer merit badges, the 3 big ones, that's in there. So definitely look into those. Those could be factors that could actually limit your ability to obtain Eagle. So I think I have one here. You could do Eagle in less than 19 months. You're absolutely right. Alrighty. Relental. Am I seeing that right? I have a member that's jumped in there. That's fantastic. Have I told you, members, I really appreciate you. I really do. You're helping me out tremendously. This is really good. Just finished insurance. Okay. All right. So I see there's some of you guys are jumping right in here. Okay. I see T-Bone saying, thanks Stan, his making lots of sense. Okay, sense. Engaged Eagle Scouts last 4 years. Joint, wait a minute, is that T-Bone? No, Hillary. All right. Okay. Yep. Alrighty. If you're joining us late, I'm having a video problem, and I think that it's time to upgrade our software and get one that works, that can actually detect cameras that are working. My software is cheap, and we are doing a podcast video, if that makes sense. I do have a podcast. I have a podcast thing that's just a redo of the actual shows, but it's all verbal. I come from a radio background. I have a face for radio, that's for sure. So that was my original intent. Let's see. All right, let's see that there. Stan, I'm almost done with my Eagle project. Do you have any tips to create an Eagle board review board? Okay. Binder. Okay. When you're done with your Eagle project, the best thing to do, you got to keep in mind there's a workbook. The workbook, the first 2 parts are done before you even start the project. The second one, the third part is actually doing the project. And then you have wrap up, which is the 4th part. Once you have all 4 parts, the end of the project doesn't occur until your Eagle board review. So they are that's the last time the project is actually looked at and signed off, is at the Eagle board review. So there's 2 things that need to be done. You need to create a book and an after report of your project. You have to take lots of photographs and make sure the receipts and everything are in there, and you account for all the signatures and all of the monies that were used for the project. So that's part of that review process at the board of review. They actually go through that, and they'll have questions. They're going to ask you about your project. So having a book of the entire workbook there, along with photographs and all that material, put that together, put it in a binder. That's kind of what goes on there. Between the finishing touches to your project and the board of review, there is a part where you have to fill out an application to become an Eagle Scout. It's simple, front and back piece of paper. Most people use the PDF, which is a 2-piece or 2-part, and they fill that out as best they can. Now, usually the council has a representative that will give you all the data for that application. So don't feel like you have to be Clouseau and run around and come up with the stuff to fill out that application. You fill out the application and it gets verified, gets what they call approved by council for your review. Once that's been approved, then you go and you tell your troop. Now this is from the youth standpoint. You would tell them that you've gotten verification, and there's a packet usually that comes back to the scout that's listed on the application. That packet is then taken to the troop, and they go through the process of getting the referral letters and getting everything set up, and they work with the district advancement people so that they can get a board of review. So that's kind of the big picture of what's going on there. Different areas might do it differently, but I think it's all pretty much standard. Okay, that's generally the process for Eagle Scouts. So I think I have answered that question. Let me scan through this. Alrighty, got that. I got more questions before I go to the Scouts. Do I wear a campaign hat? Yeah. One of the things is that when you go for your board of review, you're in front of Eagle Scouts. You're interviewing for the job of being an Eagle Scout. So it's kind of a, you want to be sharp, and campaign hats are a wonderful thing. And being in uniform, you could wear it during the whole thing. Sometimes scouts will take them off, but if you're of a nervous nature, you might break the the bow of the actual hat. So you might want to set it on the table, set it aside. You know, that's one thing. But the sharper you look, the better impression you're going to make, and that's true throughout life. When you go to a job interview, you want to be sharp. So this is a lifelong job of being an Eagle Scout. So definitely go and look the part of an Eagle Scout. So campaign hats are beautiful and expensive. So okay, got to get the microscope out again. There we go. Eagle in 4 years, Henry J.D. There we are. Technically, I've finished tenderfoot. Okay. See, all of the other ranks are done pretty much independently of advancement as far as towards Eagle. So when you go for tenderfoot and scout and all the different ranks, that's all handled within the troop environment. And only the Eagle is the one where the advancement person for your district actually is involved. They're one of the required signatures on the application, so they will be involved in your border review. So that's the only time. The rest of the time it's all done with the troop, so keep that in mind. Alrighty. Relento, there we are. Chances are that the members of Tenderfoot Board, yep, absolutely right. Process for you, yep. They do all that processing for you. According to the Guide of Advancement, the Guide to Advancement, when a scout is ready for a border review, they make the request to the troop, usually to somebody in the troop committee is notified. The troop's advancement people usually take care of that. And that's when they set up a border review. And they try to do that as soon as possible. Sometimes they may not have the people to do that border review, but they will do their best to put one together and make sure that there is a border review. And that's true for all of the ranks. They try to make sure that the scout is accommodated as soon as possible. So, alrighty, let's see some more questions coming in. Let's see. I didn't have a whole. By the way, if you're joining us late, this is podcast 101. I am so angry at this software. Apparently that it won't recognize the camera for I don't know, whatever reason, and I cannot get the camera. It's on. The camera's on. It's lit up. I'm you know, hopefully it's being captured somewhere. Let me see here. Let's see. Sports season. Okay, I'm reading one comment. It says, all right, it says many scouts must miss most meetings during the sports season. Okay. You know, that's the thing is you got to keep that in mind. There's other things on the scouts agenda. So I'm really, let me address this to the leaders. We have to keep that in mind. Some of these scouts are in band. Some of these scouts are in sports. That takes an intense amount of time away from scouting. So if they're on the borderline with becoming an Eagle, this could be an additional challenge to the scheduling, something to seriously think about. I mean, I've even done the extreme and said, hey, maybe you should take time off of school just to get this done. If that's your goal and you want to do it, you're going to have to dedicate time to it. You just can't arbitrarily do it in the background. It's not going to happen. It's possible to do some of that over a period of time, but if you're out of time, you got to dedicate the time to do it. And that really wakes them up when I tell them to bring a calendar. the old-fashioned paper calendar, and we start Xing out days, weekends, months, weeks, camp, soon, and it turns out that they thought they had a year and a half, and it turns out they only have 40 days. So real days where nothing else is going on. So, and band would wipe out a bunch. So that's something to consider. Um, you have to set the goal and you have to do it in the time allotted. That's the next thing. Back to the pond says, what do you think of the term paper eagle? I don't know what that is. A paper eagle implies that it is different than an Eagle Scout. I don't know. There is a video that I must get comments every month on a video I did about a scout that had he had his border review, and I had just joined that troop, and I didn't even know the scout. And he was the minimum. He did absolutely the minimum. So I guess if you got to put one on there, that would be on paper. He did exactly what all the requirements. But as far as Eagle Scouts, we'd like to see more out of them. We don't want any Eagle Scout lights. We want to make sure they're real Eagle Scouts and that they can take on that challenge. Okay. Yep. We talked about sports and band and all that stuff. That can really take up a lot of time. That is for sure. Hopefully we don't have any paper or Eagle Scout light out there. So let's try not to do that. Let's really make that a priority. Let's see, time lengths. Okay, like the 30-day. All right, I'm reading one here from Chris. Okay. Yes, time lengths, the less than 30 days. A lot of times when you don't, for fitness merit badge is a good example. You have to keep a schedule of your routine, and that's part of the merit badge. It's a requirement. The merit badge counselor wants to see the written down amounts and times and the dates. That is a requirement that's actually in the book. Merit badge counselors are not allowed to change the requirements. They have to go word for word. Okay, that's very important. So if you're looking at 30 days to do something, that's exactly how long it takes. Not 29, not 28 3/4. It's exactly 30 days. So that's the thing. You have to go word for word on those requirements. Alrighty. See Cody there. Okay. The term paper eagle is one I've heard for decades. Okay. I've been in scouting for a while, and I haven't heard of paper eagle, so I don't know if that's good. Okay, Chris. Let me see. Can I be an eagle who did the minimum? But I used it. Okay. Oh, scouts being signed off on requirements without doing them. Ugh, that's not good. That is not good. Okay, so if you're a paper eagle about what Chris is saying about getting things signed off without them actually doing the things they're getting signed off, that's bad. That would not be good. Let me get caught up on these. No. All right, what do we do? All right, let me say something about what Chris was talking. Okay, I'm getting caught up. West Coast current. All right, so keep this in mind. If what Chris was talking about being a paper eagle and leaders signing off on requirements that they didn't do. That literally is not on the scout. The scout didn't have that idea. The leader did. Okay, that is on them. That's not on the scout. If they signed off on something knowing full well that the scout didn't do the thing, that's on the scout leader. And if the scout was to go along with it, he could be complicit. But still, you know, the original problem with that is with the leader. Okay, leaders need to be told, if you sign off on something, you better darn well know they did it. And there should be some kind of written document or discussion or statements made that makes sense. So that's the important bit there. So as far as paper ones, that would be on the leaders. Let's see, tips, upcoming 13 troops, 60 oh, wait a minute. Okay. Cyprus. Any tips for upcoming SPLs who is star and 13 in a troop of 60? Whew, you got your hands full, man. Who is thinking not much respect? Oh, not thinking not much respect will be shown from the older scouts. Yes and no. Being 13 and being the SPL, George C. Scott said in the movie Taps, I believe he was talking to a young person who had just become cadet of the school, and he said they will respect the man, or no, they'll respect the rank, but they won't respect the man unless he earns it. So being 13, you're going to have to earn their respect. They're going to respect the position. So what you say in running your SPL, your meetings, your patrol leader meetings, definitely go in there with your agenda and what you want to accomplish, and make sure that your patrol leaders and your staff are actually working with you towards those goals. There's things I would recommend asking the scoutmaster to kind of mentor you along that path. You are young, okay? This might be the first huge leadership position. You're in charge of 60 scouts, quite a few patrols. So definitely take some time, talk with the scoutmaster or even assistant scoutmasters. Find one that will mentor you and help you talk about the things that you need to get done and what you want to do. And that's one of those things. Definitely look into that. All right, I'm going to go through some more of these. And okay, let's see. What's your favorite part of the scouting journey? Eagle, 4 years. Awesome. All right, so I believe it says Eagle in 4 years. He says, what is your favorite part of your scouting journey? My scouting journey is still continuing. Okay. But when I was a youth, my favorite was going to the Jamboree, going to Philmont, going to do high adventure, doing those kinds of things. Those were high points of doing those kinds of things. When I got back into scouting after having a career where I flew all over the place and really settled down and started to really concentrate back into scouting, once I did that, I loved going camping with my son's troop. That was always fun. It was very youth-led troop, extreme, and they did wonderful things. Good service projects, great campouts. They just had a great old time. I love going canoeing and whitewater rafting. Those are both very fun. So, but those are my journeys. So that's what I would add on there. Jamboree 98 or 89. Jeez, I'm looking at. I got to get my microscope out again. There it is. Yep. 1989. There it is. Really handsome scanning movement. Yeah, Jamboree is awesome. I love Jamboree. Alrighty. Chris. Okay. Got that. All right. You guys are awesome. That is really good. What's your favorite part of the scanning journey? That's awesome. You know, for a lot of people, it is the positions that they hold within the troop, giving back to the troop as senior patrol leader, assistant senior patrol leader, whatever. Those are positions that that are really memorable, and they really teach you a lot about the different skills in scouting. So that is really something else. Cypress, let's see, 13-year-old. I think some of this, I don't know if this is on a loop or what. Let me see what's on here. All right, if you're joining us late in our discussion, you will notice that the video is out. Everything else seems to be working, as long as I don't, if I hit the wrong button. Everything else is, I don't know why the camera's not being recognized by the software. The software is the issue. But that is now going to be replaced. I am done. It's been over a year. I've tried to work with this software, and it has been incredibly difficult, especially for visually impaired. It's very tiny print, and I have to use, you know, additional microscopes to read some of the print sometimes, because it is very tiny. So just bear with us. We're having another difficulty. You know, this, I think we might be cursed. I was looking back at it. We've done, this is our 13th live meeting. And our second one almost, it didn't even happen because there was some issues. I was furious with it. There was a sunspot or some flare or something. And it knocked out the password. I had a great show. Nobody saw it. So, what a mess. So sometimes we get this thing. Sometimes they work. Sometimes they don't. So it's been challenging, very challenging. And it, you know, that's so right. Free is good until it isn't. You're absolutely right. It's what you pay for it. Well, I have been looking at other software, and this has kind of cemented the deal. So we are definitely going to be moving on to good software, and it's going to take me a month to figure that one out. So. All right, so Chris saying, I believe he was talking back to the pawn about the SPL. Yeah, yeah. There we go. NYLT, definitely do it if you can. So important. Okay. Reading through your text, guys. You guys are doing good. PPL. Okay. All right, Cypress. I heard something about having patrols of people age more than 1 year apart violates YPT. I think it's 2 years, and that's for camping, I believe. I'll have to check that down the notes. But YPT is pretty clear about that. They want to make sure that you get age similarities. I don't know about the patrols. My son was in a patrol that had brand new scouts in it, and it had 17-year-old scouts in it. So, and it was inspiring. The leadership and the camaraderie that went on in their patrol was just incredible. It made some incredible leaders came out of that patrol. I was always impressed by that, and the patrols still exist even today because of that. That the troop puts new scouts in the first year's emphasis program, and then they move them into the general patrols, and all the patrols are still there. You know, that was patrol method at its finest. There's no rank minimum for a patrol leader. Absolutely right. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Now there is some troops that have bylaws that actually say that you have to be a certain rank to be the senior patrol leader. But that's agreed upon policies for their unit, and that has a lot to do with their charter. So you have to keep that in mind. But in general, yeah, there isn't a requirement of a certain rank in order to go for a patrol leader. It's not always the highest ranked scout that is the patrol leader in a patrol. So, and that happens all the time. In fact, that was something that my son's patrol did all the time. They would always get some of the younger ones that wanted to be leaders. They would vote them in. So, and that was, the rank wasn't the issue. It was and the age wasn't the issue. It was a matter of giving them a chance. And as I always say, scouting is a safe place to fail. And that's the wonderful thing about learning leadership of youth and your peers, and learning all that. That's the nice thing about it. I think I'm caught up on a lot of this. Okay. All right. Brandy wants to know, what are your thoughts about being a multiple? Yeah, multiply. I'm around PA, Florida. Ah, at the same time. I'm in the council of PA, okay, Pennsylvania. Or no, PA. Hmm. And another in Florida at the same time. Okay, I'm gonna have to read a little more on that one. All right, trained, got it. Okay, I am going through these. 2 FPLs and 2 VAs. Okay, okay. Awesome. Thank you for answering that one. Crew. Okay. Crew and troop for each state. Cool. Take advantage of the memberships. Paid one crew. Awesome. All right. Relental. There you are. Okay, we are caught up on all of the texting that's going on back and forth. This is awesome, guys. I believe there was a multiple question, and looks like everybody's jumped in and really helped out, and that's good. That's excellent scouting. So I'm so proud of you. They've Let's see. I think we are. Oh my gosh, I can barely see some of this stuff. We are. All right. It's this has been a challenge tonight. Super crazy. All right. So that doesn't make any sense what it's telling me there, but I'm seeing that. Okay, good, good, good. So we are good on the timing, guys. So we could probably go a little longer. So, but as far as multiple, that is a very good opportunity, and it's a good point. You only pay one fee, and you could be in multiple units. So some units may need a little more. There may be unit dues that might be needed for, I don't know, the different things that the unit is planning on doing. It's basically everybody paying their way through it. But as far as the actual membership fee, you can be in a troop and a crew, and it's the same. So whatever the impact fees are for the different units, and that's stuff that you can work out. But it's okay to have multiple units, and a lot of older scouts do. A lot of them do. So I know of a troop that it's a boy and a girl troop that also has a crew, and the crew, being that it's venture, is 14 and up, and I believe they are going to Scotland. So that'll be like their third or fourth time they've been. And a lot of the older scouts in the troops actually are dual membered. So they're not only in the troop doing all that stuff, but they're also in the crew. And that is nice. That is super nice. Let's see. And they're working on a ship. They're working on Sea Scouts too. So that is a whole other thing. But you know, it's an amazing. You know, the thing is, the charter is wonderful, and they're working with them, and they're gonna make this whole thing come together. It's gonna be great. Alrighty, I see this is patrol leaders are actually proposed. All right, I'm still reading the comments here, guys. So, and let's see, ask you. All right. Alrighty, I see that the senior patrol leader meetings and the scouting days. Okay, got that, Chris. All right, yep. And then let's see, Hillary's got unit, where is patrol leaders duty? Okay, roster, etc. Patrol inspections. Wow. Okay. Wow. Awesome. All right, so your comments are great, and I see that there's some stuff in there. Let's see. To be fair, today's world. Oh yeah, I gotta get the microscope. There we are. To be fair, today's world, there is not enough missing scouts in each outing that you do end up eating, camping, and all. Oh, goodness. All right. Why is it like that? Okay. Oh, there's something on the screen. Oh my goodness. No wonder I can't read it. It's like, okay. There we go. I guess some dust or something hit the screen and it made all the words kind of weird. All right. It was like partial letters. Even with the microscope, I couldn't read it. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Can you talk about the World Jamboree? World Scout Jamboree. It's in South Korea, I believe. Heat wave. Yeah, it's hot. It's summer. It was hot at the National Jamboree. But you know, that's just the part of the world they're in. South Korea, the climate there is a lot like it is in Washington State. It gets extremely cold in the winter and warm during the summer. And they're having a heat wave. And I'm glad they're taking measures. I remember I was reading something, I believe it was on some social media thing, they were talking about how they're increasing air-conditioned spaces and being able to help people with the heat. Um, I live in Florida, so it's hot year-round. We get maybe a week or two where it's nice and cool, but being in the tropics, we're kind of used to heat and drinking lots of water. That is the standard. Everyone in this area will drink lots of water. If you're from areas of the world, and this is a World Jamboree, you got people from Sweden, you've got people from Norway, you've got people from all over the world at the World Jamboree. They may not be thinking like that. They may not be keeping in mind that the heat can really get to you, and if you're out in the heat, intense, and it's warm at night, and I don't know about South Korea. Now, South Korea might have a little bit lower humidity, but in Florida, oh my, it gets really bad because of the humidity. It works both ways. If it's hot, you have humiture. You actually feel like it's hotter than it actually is. You could say 92 degrees on the thermometer and feel like 102. So that's the humiture. And it works the other way. It could say 72 degrees on the thermometer, and because it's so humid, the cold is going to feel worse. So it will feel like it's 60 degrees on the skin. So because of the moisture in the air, that's the tropics. That's just the way the tropics are. But if you're not familiar with warm weather, you could have a problem. And I think that's a very important thing. They got to drink water. They got to stay cool, stay in the shade. I get sunburned extremely fast. I can remember getting a sunburn in about less than 5 minutes. And that sunburn on the top of my feet put me in the hospital. So I was in a wheelchair for a while. It was really bad. So it was, yeah, and at less than 5 minutes. So I burned very fast. So if you're not ready for sun, and you're in a heat wave or you're in an environment, you gotta be prepared. That's a big thing. That BP was big on be prepared. That was sure, and it should be looked at whenever you go out of state, whenever you're moving around. Mm-hmm. All right. Hillary says, I grew up in Washington. Awesome. It's beautiful up there. It has, yeah, not the whole state isn't the same. It's like Florida. Northern Florida is different than South Florida. So, yeah. Mount Rainier behind me. Profile pic. Neat. Snow counts. Uh-huh. Yeah. Korea's got mountains and, all that very similar terrain. Somebody told me they had a desert. I wasn't sure about that, but Korea, it's it's amazing. It's an amazing place. I've heard of it. I've never visited, so I'd love to someday. I'm sure it's on the bucket list, but not right away. So, but the World Jamborees are awesome. They have them so often. You know that they have them every 4. I think it's every 4 or 5 years. Sometimes they augment them. Sometimes they have no choice but to move them a year, whether it's a pandemic or political unrest and where they're going to have them. So they might even cancel them. So, but they move them around. And so, but typically it's every 4 years. They do a world. In between so they'll have one this year, and then they'll go 2 years, and it'll be a national, and so on. But because we moved the national one a few times, so that we could merit up to the 100th anniversary in 2010, so we moved it around. So the timing changes. And from the world standpoint, they try to keep it consistent. That being said, the World Jamborees are awesome. You do have to get into the contingent in your local area in order to attend. I don't believe they allow visitors. The National Jamboree does. They actually do visiting. But I don't know about the World one. You have to be in a contingent. And that might be where they're having the Jamboree. That might be the condition of where they're having it. That might be the requirement. So, but it is amazing. If you have an opportunity to go to World Jamboree, definitely do it. The United States has had a few, so they've been the host. Absolutely. That is the best part. You're absolutely right, Hillary, because that is the best part, is when you are in a World Jamboree. One of the things that comes to your mind is this is a movement that is the Scout movement of the world. And it's wonderful to see young people enthused about scouting and enthused about service to others. That is breathtaking, and you want to be a part of it worldwide. And we have this scouting movement. We are moving forward. We are doing new things and good things, and that's the whole point. Oh, I got to move that error. There we go. Alrighty. Alrighty. World Jamboree. Oh, I have an oligomat question from Christopher. Christopher, what is your experience as an oligomat for the OA? And if you were an oligomat, I have done oligomats several times. Oligomats are the scouts that are the example that go out and actually do the ordeal. They run their group. The group that they're assigned to, the oligomat is kind of their patrol leader, for a term, and they basically be the example for an ordeal. And in that, they go through the same things with the food and reflectiveness and being quiet and arduous tasks and labors and stuff like that. They are the example. And I really cherish the groups that I have been an oligomat for. There was older scouts that I was an oligomat for, and adult scouts that I was an oligomat for. So it is something, and they do training within our lodge. There's training for it, and that's something that they do. And I would recommend, if you're thinking of doing that, the oligomat program is wonderful, and it is special. And do the training and definitely give the service back to the lodge so that they can introduce new scouts into the order, and and have them fulfill it with brotherhood, and really get involved and do things. So and I've done it several times. I think I have five, I believe, five Oligomat terms that I did, and it's fun. I enjoy it. Every time I do it, it's just fun. Do a lot of fun with that. Let me see what else we got here. If you're tuning in, this is me with camera problems and issues with the camera. And instead of having no show, we're just going to do it as a podcast. So. Hillary attended the World Jamboree 2019 as a day visitor. Okay, so they do. But see, I believe that was the 2019, wasn't that held in the United States? Different countries might have restrictions on that. So I don't know. As an eagle from the troop at Philmont right now on the OA trek. Wow. Yeah. I tell you, was it the 20? I'm trying to remember. I don't know if it was or not. Anyways, the one that I wanted to go to was the England one. There was a World Jamboree. It was in 2007, I believe. I believe it was 2007, but that was the 100th anniversary for scouting in the UK. So that was I wanted to go to that one. I believe it wasn't at Brownsea Island, but it was close. And it was you could actually go to Brownsea Island and do all those things at that jamboree. It was amazing. The stuff that I read from that is just phenomenal. And that is a neat thing. I would love to go to a World Jamboree. That is on my bucket list, that's for sure. All right. All righty. I see a new comment here. Let's see. Would you need to be support to the troop committee, scoutmasters, and senior youth to make that change? Got it. All right. So that is in regards to the troop wanting to transfer age-based patrols. Yes. Yes, I agree. Now, I did want to make sure that everyone knew that we are doing this because there's a camera problem, but the live show is the only opportunity. If you want to join the membership here on the channel, if you were to join the membership, you do have the option of buying gift memberships for other people. There are a lot of people that go online with their options, and they set it up so that if somebody does a gift, they automatically get put into that. And this is something that you can do as a service to the channel and helping others get to see the videos that are for the members. We are working on some things that is going to be very exciting. I have not officially announced it directly. I've talked about it briefly with the members, but we are working on something very exciting, and you'll hear about it. If you're not a member, you're going to hear about it, but members get first dibs on what's going on. So we're still holding that close to the vest. It's going to be exciting and fun, and I'm looking forward to that. But thank you, Hillary, for contributing to our discussion tonight. I really appreciate it. It is late, so thank you so much. Let's see, and if you want to join, that is wonderful. You do get a lot of benefits, and there will be some exciting benefits very soon. So if you want to know more about that, join up. This is the only opportunity to buy gift memberships. So is that a live show or a premiere? We've only done one premiere and it was terrible. But that was many years ago. It was awful. But the live show is the only opportunity. I found this out yesterday for individuals to actually join and do gift memberships. So that's something. If you want to spread the good news, that's the way to do it, and that is important. Alrighty, let me see. Now that we have some members, I'm going to buy some software. The editing software is giving me a nightmare too. So I believe I'm on version 18, and they just came out with 29. So it gives you an idea. I've had it for quite a few years, and my computer's getting more advanced than the software can handle. So, Scout is like an idea. Well, okay. Yeah. Buckskin Lodge 412. Alrighty, Buckskin tab. Got it. More patrol boxes. Alrighty. Okay. Alrighty, I got that one there. All right. There you go. Hillary, I thought you were going to bed. I'm glad to have you back. There we go. People asking faster. Okay, there you go. All right. Chase wants to know what my favorite merit badge is. All righty. My favorite merit badge is cooking. That sounds strange, but cooking merit badge is one of those that I teach. I'm a merit badge counselor for cooking, and I think it's a skill. It is long overdue to be, and it is required for Eagle. If you don't know how to do a budget for your food and make the menu and try to be nutritional about it, and those skills are absolutely essential. When you go out on your own and you're a young person going off to college or whatever, you can't live by fast food alone. You have to be able to cook a little bit. It's going to be cheaper and it's going to be better for you physically, because you're literally going to have better nutrition and therefore think clearly and be able to interact. So my personal favorite merit badge is cooking. I think it's probably one of the critical ones that you have to have. There are other merit badges that I do enjoy. I'm also the entrepreneur merit badge counselor in the area. I've had multiple businesses and patents and stuff like that. I do inventing merit badge. Those are fun. And I also do Scout history. I do the Scouting Heritage merit badge. So those are ones that I teach. But the cooking is probably the most important to me. All right, got another question. I see my name. Oh, what would your actual steps be for transforming the age-based patrols to a non-age-based? Now, what your question was, Cypress, I'm answering your specific question is the actual steps by doing that. It's really, if you're, I'm thinking that you are an adult leader. If you're an adult leader, you go to the committee and you say, this is what we would like to do. Do you approve? That's kind of the steps that needs to be done. If you're a youth and you want to do something like this, you have to go to your scoutmaster, your assistant scoutmasters, and start talking to them, and they will mentor you along that path, the actual process that you want to do. It's almost like an Eagle project. You got to come up with your ideal. You have to come up a way to do that ideal, and then you have to be able to present it and get it approved. So that's something, but that's within keeping those guidelines. Now the age thing, with having multiple ages within the patrol, that is the reason they do that. The YPT part of that is that the 2-year difference between the scouts' ages is for tenting. You can eliminate that by everybody having their own tent. That just makes it a little easier. So that's something you can do. You know, one tent, one scout. That's just very easy to put together. In a very large troop, you know, if you had 60 scouts on a camp out, which is highly unusual, you'd need about 140 kids in that troop in order to do 60, based on averages. So you really just can't say, well, we have 140, so we need that many tents. No. You know, you're never going to get everybody to go on a camp out, because, you know, life happens. There's a lot of other things going on, and but that being the case, patrols that have those age differences, and there's no way to, if you have 2 scouts that are in a patrol and they're very similar in age, you can put them in the same tent, you know, and that there's no problem with that. The younger ones, you put them in their own tent. So, and that way you're still compliant with YPT, and there shouldn't be an issue. But as far as changing how your unit handles younger scouts, that's something you need to come up with a plan. So that's important. All right, Chase, you have a follow-up. I did the cooking merit badge at summer camp. Okay. Wow. Gorga ball. Okay. You know, it's unfortunate, but that's true. Sometimes when you do a merit badge at a camp, I'm replying to Chase. He was talking about at summer camp, he did his cooking merit badge and was not satisfied with the quality of the education on the cooking merit badge. Cooking merit badge is difficult to do at camp, because how do you cook at home? That's one of the processes. You do a lot of the prerequisite stuff, then just review the first few merit badge stuff. But you have to cook at home, and create the menu and get it approved and go through that process. You have to buy your food, you have to cook your food, you have to have it reviewed. And that's the first cooking situation. Your second one is at a camp out. You could do that at summer camp, but typically it's done at like a 2-day camp out where you're the grub master for your patrol, and you do the same process that you used at home. It's a different cooking process because you're out camping, so it's a different process. The third one is probably the hardest, and that's when you're camping and cooking on the trail, whether you're hiking or even kayaking, canoe trips, that kind of stuff. So when you're out on the trail type of cooking is totally different than campsite cooking. So there's 3 different kinds of cooking processes, and how you can do that at summer camp, I don't know. The only thing you could do at summer camp, you should say to the scout, do all your prerequisite stuff. You're cooking at home and on a camporee, and we'll do this thing on a hike. You know, that's the only way you could really do it that way. But unfortunately, different camps will have different qualities. Different merit badge counselors will jump in and try to help out, but still, if you don't get that good quality merit badge counselor, it's not going to be a good merit badge. I'm sure that you didn't get it signed off, because it just doesn't sound like it was working out for you. So, but that's unfortunate, Chris, or Chase, excuse me, Chase. I wish that that didn't happen to you. I wish that you had a better counselor, and I wish that there was better stuff going on there. Let's see. Sure, with complete. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Yep. Yep. I'm reading the comment from Hillary. Okay. There we go. Yep. Relental says that it's better. Let's see. Some merit badges are better with a local counselor than one-on-one. Yeah. Within the right. Yeah. Within a view. Cooking is. Let's get the magnification up. There we go. Cooking is one of those options. Yes. You know, when it comes to merit badges, there are no options. You have to do what the requirements say, unless then there are some merit badges that actually say, here are the options, or do one of the following. You know, that's where it becomes interpretive, okay? But most of the time it's do this, show this, you know, do these things, get this approved. I mean, it's very simple, word for word, and merit badge counselors should go by that. That way it's consistent, so that everyone that gets that merit badge went through the same process. So, and there's a reason for that. So you want to be able to teach the skill to its highest level. So I see another came in here. Cypress, how would you transition the ages? Okay, got that one. Alrighty, and let's see. Hillary's got one. It says, Cypress, can you contact? Yep. Alrighty. You know, that's the thing. Hillary's right. You got to work with the people you got. You know, get that process going. Get the whole setup going. But back on the merit badge, those are very important points. And unfortunately, that does happen. Summer camp is a great place for the things that summer camp is known for. So if you're going there and you're going to be doing welding and they don't have welding, guess what? You're not going to get the merit badge because they just don't have the facilities. But if you're going to summer camp, and almost every summer camp has a swimming pool or a lake, all of the water sports and swimming, those are great to get at summer camp. Those are awesome. That's the place. So if you're looking at merit badges, there are certain places where you can do that. You know, any of the shooting sports, it's very difficult to stay within the guidelines for shooting sports without the people that are qualified to do them. So at summer camp, they have that. They have the people that know how to run the range and know how to do the rifle and the handgun and the archery. They know the rules. So they have the certifications. So that's the wonderful thing about that. So we'll see. Hillary, let's see, made changes. Yep. All right. I think we are coming up on our time, guys. I can never. Oh my goodness, it's so small, tiny. Oh man. Let's put it this way. My monitor uses 2 little dots to represent a 1. That's how tiny this is. Oh my goodness. Ugh. And it has been challenging tonight, and I'm so grateful. Look at all the great people we have in the chat. That is just phenomenal. I am so impressed with you guys. They're just wonderful. And this is great. Even though we've had the camera fail, well, it didn't fail. The connection between the software that streams it to YouTube, somehow it chose I don't know, whatever reason, works for Zoom, works for everything else, but for this software, it just chose not to look at it anymore. So it's unfortunate but true, and it's on right now. I can look at it, and the camera is working just fine, but for some reason the software will not find it, will not locate it, will not do anything with it. It won't engage it, won't disengage, won't do anything. So it's been challenging this go around. I'm looking at some of these. Yes, we need to wrap things up. You're absolutely right, Hillary. If you're thinking about being a member, please join. It's very inexpensive, and you get a lot of benefits. And there's some very exciting things coming up, but only the members get to know about it first. So I really can't reveal anything here. Hopefully, we will not have issues with the other thing we're thinking of. I'm hoping. Okay, a Scout is very hopeful, and that is one of those things. Alrighty. Yeah, alrighty. I think we got it all here. We're good. One final word about merit badges. Find a merit badge counselor in your area. Please use them. Please find them, use them. Scout leaders, you know what I'm talking about. These are critical for the success of all your youth. It's very important. I'm seeing more comments come in at the end here. Let me quickly look at it. I was there for more scouting community on YouTube. I wish so too. I'm hoping that this will bring more people together. And let's see. Well, thank you, Chase. I appreciate it. And I think we need to wrap it up. It's late, and tomorrow is a school day, right? Thank you so much for hanging in there and doing all these things and all that you do for scouting. I greatly appreciate everyone in the chat, everyone in scouting, everyone that's been here. I really appreciate you, and bearing with me, because I'm not very happy with this software. So, but yes, thank you so much for all that you do, and of course I'll see you on the trail.